Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we're tackling something almost everyone thinks about at some point, getting a flatter stomach. And let's be real, it's often way more than just looks, isn't it? Sometimes that belly is like a warning sign about what's happening inside.
That's a really crucial point. It's kind of surprising how many people try everything, diet, exercise, targeting that specific area, and they just get stuck.
Right. Defeated even.
Exactly. And usually it's because they're treating the symptom, the belly itself, not what's actually causing it underneath.
And that's exactly why we're diving deep today. We want to guide you through this. We're going to unpack the three most common reasons for a protruding belly. And just to be super clear, we're not talking about serious medical issues like ascites or tumors. That's a whole different conversation for doctors.
Yeah.
We're focused on the common stuff.
Right. The everyday challenges people face.
We'll look at why they happen and, more importantly, give you some really tailored, actionable things you can actually do about it.
Yeah, the goal is really to help you figure out, okay, which of these situations sounds like me? Or maybe it sounds like someone you know.
Exactly. So you can have the right tools, or at least the right knowledge to share. It's like getting a clearer signal from your own body.
Let's do it.
Okay, so first up, let's peel back layer one. This is probably the one most people think of, the belly that's mainly down to, well, fat accumulation.
Yes, this is the classic one. Fundamentally, it's about fat settling in that abdominal area. But here's the kicker, the bit people often miss.
Okay.
It's not just about the calories you eat. The real driver, very often, is uncontrolled spikes in your blood glucose.
The sugar roller coaster.
Precisely. And those spikes trigger big surges of insulin. Now, insulin isn't just managing sugar. Think of it like a storage manager. When it's constantly being called upon, it basically shouts, store fat, store fat.
Okay.
And even worse, it actively blocks your body from burning the fat you already have. It's like a metabolic trap door.
Wow, okay. So if that resonates, if that feels familiar, where do you even begin with food changes? What's the first thing to tackle?
Well, the biggest targets to eliminate, and this might surprise some, are sugars, obviously, but also artificial sweeteners, and crucially, refined flours.
Refined flours. So we're talking white bread, pasta.
Exactly. White bread, pasta, pizza dough, empanadas, hamburger buns, hot dog buns. The list goes on. These aren't just filler foods. They have a really high glycemic index.
Meaning they spike your blood sugar fast.
Super fast. Like throwing gasoline on a fire, you get this intense, sudden glucose spike, which then leads to the insulin surge we talked about, and often a crash later, making you crave more.
So it's not just the obvious sweets. These refined carbs are like stealth sugars. They cause the same metabolic chaos.
You got it. And of course, things like sodas, candies, chocolates, most typical sweets, those are definitely on the out list too. They're just direct hits of sugar.
Makes sense.
And something a bit more subtle. You need to be careful with excess fruit, especially very ripe fruit or tropical ones like bananas, pineapple, mango. They're natural, yes, but still high in sugar that can cause spikes if you overdo it.
Okay, good point. Moderation even with fruit.
And definitely ultra-processed foods. They almost always contain a mix of refined flours, different kinds of sugars, and often unhealthy toxic fats. They're just bad news all around for this type of belly.
Okay, so we've cleared out the pantry, metaphorically speaking. What should we be bringing in? What kind of eating pattern helps the body actually let go of this fat?
A natural, varied, Mediterranean-style diet tends to work really well. It's naturally rich in vegetables, lots of them, and focuses on lower glycemic index fruits. Think pears, apples, and especially berries, blueberries, raspberries, wild strawberries are fantastic. They give you nutrients without that big sugar hit.
Berries are great. What about protein and fats? They're key for feeling full and for metabolism, right?
Absolutely essential. You want high-quality proteins, meat, fish, eggs, legumes, combined maybe with some natural whole grains like rice, quinoa, kamut, buckwheat,
Okay.
and critically, healthy fats. Extra virgin olive oil is king, avocado, oily fish, even organic butter, nuts, seeds. This way of eating works with your metabolism, not against it.
So it gives you stable energy.
Exactly. Stable energy, no crazy glucose spikes, and it encourages what we call metabolic flexibility. That's your body's ability to easily switch between burning carbs and burning fat for fuel. It helps you tap into those stored fat reserves.
That sounds like a really powerful shift. Okay, so diet is huge. What about lifestyle stuff? Exercise. What else moves the needle for this fat accumulation belly?
Well, moderate intermittent fasting can be incredibly useful here.
Okay, tell me more.
Even just a 12 or 14-hour overnight fast gives your body a break from digesting and allows it to switch into fat-burning mode. It helps activate fat combustion, making it easier to use that stored fat, particularly around the abdomen.
Moderate being the key word there.
Yes, moderate, because, and this is a big one, excessive stress is a major roadblock.
Ah, stress, the silent saboteur.
Totally. Chronic stress keeps your cortisol levels high. High cortisol can actually cause glucose spikes all on its own, and it basically slams the brakes on fat loss. It can undo all your good work with diet and exercise.
That's huge.
Yeah.
Because life is stressful. So how do you realistically manage it without, adding more stress, trying to de-stress?
It takes conscious effort, definitely. It means learning to say no sometimes, maybe reducing your workload if possible. Simple things like taking a few minutes for calm breathing during the day.
Like mindful moments.
Exactly. Or practicing things like meditation, conscious breathing techniques, maybe heart coherence. Even just spending more time outside in nature can make a difference in lowering that cortisol.
Okay, practical tips.
Mm.
And sleep. We hear about sleep all the time. How critical is it for this kind of belly fat?
Oh, it's absolutely fundamental, not just for general health, but specifically for weight control and body composition. When you sleep, your body does critical repair and regulation. Poor sleep messes everything up. It increases cravings, especially for sugary things, leads to more glucose spikes, makes your body worse at managing glucose, and directly blocks fat burning.
So bad sleep equals stalled progress.
Pretty much. It's like trying to drive with the parking brake on. Good quality, consistent sleep is non-negotiable.
Got it. Okay, now exercise. A lot of people just jump on the treadmill for hours thinking cardio is the magic bullet. But you're saying strength training is actually key here.
For this type of fat accumulation belly, yes. Strength training is arguably the most efficient exercise. It's not just about building muscle, you can see.
Okay.
It revs up your metabolism. It turns your body into a more efficient fat-burning machine, even when you're resting. Think big, compound movements exercises that use multiple joints.
Like squats, deadlifts.
Exactly. Chin-ups or lat pull-downs, lunges, chest presses, leg presses, squats, deadlifts. These activate so much muscle, boost your metabolism, burn fat, and they also stimulate hormones like growth hormone and testosterone. Think of them as youth hormones that really help with body composition.
Wow, okay, so a really holistic approach for that first type: diet, stress, sleep, and smart exercise.
That's the formula.
All right, but that's just one type. Let's shift gears. What about the second common scenario? The belly that feels less like fat and more like a balloon.
That intestinal issue belly.
Yes, the hard, tense balloon is a great way to describe it. This one often isn't directly tied to your overall weight. You might be relatively lean otherwise.
Right.
It's caused by problems inside the intestines, things like trapped gas, poor digestion, maybe an imbalance in your gut bacteria, your microbiota, or even issues with how your gut functions or its physical structure. It feels like internal pressure.
Okay, so if you feel like you've swallowed a beach ball after eating, what are some quick general things you can try to just calm things down, improve digestion?
Well, even before you eat, you can give your digestion a little nudge.
How so?
Try having a small appetizer of something pickled, like pickled onions, gherkins, maybe some olives, or even just a small glass of water with a splash of apple cider vinegar a little while before your meal. Interesting, the pickles thing again. Why does that help?
It helps stimulate your stomach acid, your gastric juices, getting them ready for the meal. Starting with a small, simple salad can also help because the raw greens provide some natural digestive enzymes.
Okay, prepping the system. What about during the meal itself? Any common mistakes people make that lead to bloating?
Oh, definitely. First, portion sizes smaller can be better. And second, a really important one. Try to avoid certain food combinations that are hard to digest together.
Like what?
For example, eating meat and fish in the same meal can be tough. Or a heavy protein like steak paired with a heavy starch like potatoes. That's a classic recipe for digestive heaviness and gas.
So steak with salad is better than steak with fries, digestively speaking.
Much better, generally. Or steak with cooked vegetables. Same idea with fruit and starch, like having cereal with grapes or orange juice. For some people, that combination just causes fermentation and gas.
Huh. We don't usually think about food combos like that.
We usually don't. And probably the most crucial thing during the meal: chew your food really, really well. And savor liquids, don't gulp them.
Digestion starts in the mouth, right?
Absolutely. If you swallow big chunks of food, you're basically giving your stomach an impossible task right from the start. And eat calmly, relaxed. Avoid watching stressful news or having tense arguments at the table.
Oh. So marital bliss is good for digestion.
It genuinely is. Stress triggers your fight or flight system, which shuts down digestion. You need to be in rest and digest mode, which is your parasympathetic nervous system. Stress blocks that.
Okay, noted. Peaceful meals only. What about drinking with the meal? Water, soda.
Limit drinks during the meal to small sips of water. Definitely avoid sodas or fizzy drinks. That's just adding gas to the situation. Too much liquid, especially if it's cold or carbonated, can dilute your stomach acid and that protective mucus layer, interfering with digestion and potentially creating more gas.
And dessert. What's the verdict after the meal?
Ideally, skip dessert right after eating. Especially fruit, it can ferment on top of the undigested food in your stomach, leading to gas and bloating.
Even fruit. Wow.
Yeah, better to have it between meals. Also, avoid very cold things like ice cream or sorbet right after eating. The cold can temporarily stun your digestive enzymes.
No ice cream right after dinner.
Yeah,
That's a tough sell. Is there a better alternative if you want something warm or soothing?
absolutely. A nice herbal tea is perfect. Things like green tea, chamomile, peppermint, anise, or fennel can actually aid digestion, calm your stomach, help reduce gas, and give you that feeling of fullness or completion.
Good idea.
And another little tip, maybe rest for 20 minutes after eating. And applying some gentle, non-electric heat to your belly, like a warm seed bag, a cushion, or even just your hands, can be very soothing.
Simple, but makes sense. And enzymes. Are supplements helpful?
Digestive enzyme supplements can be a good short-term help, yes. They can give your system a boost while you're working on the underlying dietary and lifestyle changes.
Okay, that's great general advice for that bloated balloon feeling. But what if it's something deeper, like actual inflammation in the gut?
Right. If the root problem is inflammation, maybe colitis, Crohn's, or just general gut inflammation, then you really need a dedicated anti-inflammatory diet.
Which means avoiding.
The usual suspects again: sugar, refined flours, often cow's milk, ultra-processed foods, and unhealthy fats. Instead, you load up on vegetables, maybe cooked low-glycemic fruits like stewed apple or pear, which are gentler.
Hmm?
Focus on milder meats, poultry, rabbit. Eggs are usually good, mushrooms. Maybe reduce red meat intake for a while.
And legumes, beans, lentils, usually healthy, right?
They are protein powerhouses, especially with grains, but for an inflamed gut, they can be tricky. They contain compounds called anti-nutrients and can be very gassy, so you might need to limit them or prepare them very carefully, like soaking and cooking them thoroughly, and just see how your body reacts.
Okay, listen to your body. What about fats for inflammation?
Healthy fats are crucial here. Extra virgin olive oil, definitely. Oily fish for the omega-3s. Organic butter can be good too.
Oh.
These provide vitamin D, which is vital for the cells lining your gut, and those omega-3 fatty acids are powerfully anti-inflammatory. They're like superfoods for your gut lining.
Interesting. What about seeds? Flax, chia, pumpkin seeds, usually touted as healthy.
Generally, yes, very healthy.
But
There's a caveat. In specific inflammatory conditions, especially diverticulitis, where you have little pouches in the gut wall, seeds can actually be a problem. They can get trapped, cause irritation, erosion, or even blockages. So in those specific cases, they're often avoided.
context matters.
It really does. And back to those digestive enzymes, they can also have an anti-inflammatory effect when taken away from food, say, on an empty stomach before bed. It's a different mechanism.
Okay, versatile little things. Now this next one, leaky gut or structural damage. That sounds pretty serious. What's actually happening there?
Leaky gut, or more formally intestinal hyperpermeability, means that protective lining of your gut, the mucosa, isn't working properly as a barrier anymore.
And the wall is breaking down.
Sort of. Think of it like a very fine mesh sieve. Normally, it lets tiny nutrient molecules pass through into your bloodstream, but keeps out bigger, potentially harmful things like undigested food particles, toxins, bacteria. With leaky gut, the holes in the mesh get bigger.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, so these larger unwanted molecules leak through into your bloodstream where they shouldn't be. This triggers your immune system, putting it on high alert.
And that causes problems beyond the gut.
Absolutely. It's strongly linked to autoimmune conditions, things like Hashimoto's thyroiditis, rheumatoid arthritis, psoriasis, even chronic respiratory issues. Because your immune system is constantly reacting to things getting through the gut barrier. It's
Right.
like your body is under friendly fire from within.
Wow. That connection is mind-blowing. So it's not just a digestive issue at all.
Not at all. It's systemic.
And I've heard keto diets are popular. Can a high-fat diet like keto make leaky gut worse?
That's a really important point. If someone already has leaky gut, jumping into a very high-fat ketogenic diet, even with healthy fats, can sometimes cause problems.
Ow.
It can lead to something called endotoxemia. Basically, bacterial components from the gut can hitch a ride on the fat molecules into the bloodstream, further alarming the immune system. So the priority has to be healing the gut lining first.
So address the root cause.
Exactly. Figure out why the gut is leaky. Is it inflammation, certain medications acting as toxins, a major imbalance in gut flora? Then you focus the diet on avoiding those pro-inflammatory triggers and providing the nutrients needed to repair the gut cells.
Like what kind of nutrients?
We mentioned vitamin D and omega-3s. Also, key amino acids like taurine and glutamine are really important building blocks for gut cells.
Okay, and hydration. You mentioned that
We're
before.
crucial. Absolutely critical, especially here. The digestive system is incredibly sensitive to dehydration, even mild dehydration. It needs water to maintain that mucus layer, for enzyme function, for everything.
So keep sipping water.
Yes, but primarily between meals. Drink plenty upon waking, between your main meals during exercise, especially if it's hot. Drinking too much with meals can interfere with stomach acid, as we said.
Got it. Okay, and the last piece of this gut puzzle.
Yeah.
What if it's the gut bacteria themselves, the flora, that are out of balance? Dysbiosis.
Right, when the community of microbes in your gut is out of whack. Think of your gut like a garden.
Okay.
If it's overgrown with weeds, bad bacteria, and the soil, gut lining, is damaged, you can't just throw seeds, probiotics on it and expect miracles. You need to first clean the terrain, get rid of the irritants and overgrowths, then you repair the soil, heal the gut lining, and then you reseed with beneficial bacteria and nourish them with prebiotics.
Clean, repair, reseed. I like that analogy.
It makes sense, right? So again, diet and hydration are foundational. But then this is where personalized support often comes in.
Like supplement.
Yeah, things like specific essential oils, oregano or rosemary, can have antimicrobial effects. Black cumin seed oil, aloe vera for healing, vitamin D, omega-3s, taurine, glutamine again. And then targeted prebiotics to feed the good guys and specific probiotic strains. But it's very individual. What works for one person's garden might not be right for another's.
Makes total sense.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, wow. That covers a lot for the gut-related belly.
Yeah.
So we've done fat accumulation, we've done the intestinal balloon. What's the third type? You mentioned it often affects thinner people.
That's right. This is the low belly pooch, specifically a curve in the lower abdomen. You often see it in women who might be quite slim otherwise.
Okay.
And the cause here isn't usually fat or bloating. It's typically weakness, or what we call hypotonia, just a lack of muscle tone in the lower part of the abdominal wall. The muscles aren't holding everything in firmly down there.
So for this one, the answer is exercise, but very specific exercise.
Exactly. It requires targeted abdominal training. But not just any crunches. The focus needs to be on exercises that involve bringing your legs towards your body.
Leg raises.
Yes, things like leg raises, either with straight legs or bent knees, pulling them towards your chest. These exercises specifically target and strengthen those lower abdominal muscles, which often get missed in standard ab workouts that focus on lifting the upper body.
That's a key difference. Lifting the legs, not the head and shoulders.
Precisely.
But hang on, before anyone jumps into doing leg raises, isn't there a really important warning, especially for women post-childbirth?
Absolutely crucial. Thank you for bringing that up.
All right.
Before starting any abdominal work like this, especially leg raises, it is vital to check for diastasis recti.
That's the separation of the ab muscles.
Yes, the six-pack muscles, the rectus abdominis, can separate down the midline. It's very common after pregnancy. If you have diastasis recti, doing traditional ab exercises, including leg raises, is actually counterproductive. It can make the separation worse.
Oh, wow. So you could be making the problem worse trying to fix it.
Exactly. The pressure pushes outwards on that weakened midline. So if diastasis is present, it needs to be addressed first. Sometimes that involves specific physical therapy, sometimes even surgery, before you can safely start strengthening those abs properly. Getting assessed for this is step one.
Okay, super important safety check. Assuming diastasis is not an issue or it's been resolved,
Yeah.
are there other exercises that help strengthen that lower core area too?
Yes, definitely. Those big multi-joint exercises we talked about earlier for fat loss squats, deadlifts, lunges, even overhead presses, they're great here too.
How so?
Because to do those movements correctly and safely, you have to stabilize your core. Your entire abdominal belt, including the lower abs, contracts to keep your torso stable. So while they aren't isolating the lower abs, they are very effectively strengthening the whole core unit functionally.
Makes sense. They work everything together.
Right, they build real-world core stability.
Okay, this has been an incredible deep dive. We've really broken down these different reasons for a belly that won't flatten.
We really have. And I think the big takeaway is that a flat stomach, or lack thereof, it's rarely just about vanity. It's often a genuine reflection of your internal health, your metabolic balance, your digestive function.
It really is a window into what's going on inside.
Exactly.
So thinking about all this, what's our final thought for you, the listener? It's this.
Hmm.
Probably the most powerful thing you can do is figure out which of these types of belly protrusion actually applies to you.
Mm-mm. Because that one-size-fits-all approach, it usually fails. It fails because you might be doing exercises for muscle weakness when the real issue is gut inflammation, or cutting calories when the problem is insulin spikes.
Right, you're using the wrong tool for the job.
Precisely. So, reflect on what we've discussed. Was it the fat accumulation section with the focus on glucose, insulin, stress, and strength training?
Or did the descriptions of bloating, digestion, food combinations, inflammation, or leaky gut resonate more? That whole intestinal health piece?
Or maybe it's that lower belly curve pointing towards specific muscle hypotonia, keeping in mind that crucial diastasis recti check.
Which explanation felt most like your experience? Understanding your why is the key to finding your what to do.
Take that tailored knowledge and think about how you can apply it to your own health journey.
Or maybe share it with someone you know who's been struggling. Until next time on The Deep Dive, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep thriving.